Good morning. It is the next episode of FEMME Matters and it's a very special episode because this is tying in with hopefully the end of the Boobs 8,000 and 8.5 kilometre challenge. Also the fast approaching Mallorca 312, which is now at time of filming, about 2 weeks away. This time in 2 weeks I'll be riding the course. Sorry, I keep looking left because I'm waiting for my ride buddy today arriving on the platform, so I want to make sure she gets here alright. We've come out to train, to do some training around the Chiltern Hills because my guest today is doing some incredible hill climbing rides, which we'll find out all about in this vid. And yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing. Because it's so hilly, I'm not going to film whilst chatting up hills because to me that is just absolutely cruel. So yeah, nice coffee rides planned, and the weather is absolutely gorgeous today. The sun is out, it's 18 degrees later on, absolutely mint day for it. So very excited to bring this episode, super special one for me, and yeah, so excited to ride. Introducing Christine. Hello, we're on the next episode of FEMME Matters and I'm with the lovely Christine O'Connell.
Hello.
Founder of One More City London and multi-disciplines life adventurer, living life by bike. Christine, loads of questions for you as per usual. Let's kick off with how you got into cycling.
Sure. So, I guess like most kids, I had a bike, from an early age, and I just rode a bike around and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then living in London, watched Olympics in 2012, stood in Richmond Park, watched the peloton come through and got completely inspired, like many people.
Yeah.
And got a proper road bike and started cycling properly in 2012, and it just kind of went from there with a few interruptions along the way due to the personal illness issues, which I can come on to explain, and kind of created a new chapter in my life.
Amazing. So you started off on road.
Yep.
And what was your first kind of adventure with the road bike then? What kind of got you hooked into other things?
So
as well?
I did London to Paris.
Amazing.
On a really heavy hybrid bike. It was horrible. Suffering so much, and I didn't know what I was doing. God knows what I was wearing. A bit of a disaster. I think I was clipped in.
Okay.
So I did that in 2013.
Yeah.
And I came back and I was like, right, I need to work out what I'm actually doing. And I think the year after, started riding with the club, learned a lot about road riding.
Yeah.
Longer distances, doing like sportives and stuff. Then I guess I picked up gravel a few years later, did a bit of cyclocross racing, some gravel racing, started doing bikepacking.
Gosh.
Doing a bit on the track at the minute just for good training, bike handling skills. Yeah, I just love riding every type of bike and doing all sorts of things.
We did say multi-disciplines. The woman is doing everything. How many bikes do you own?
Pass.
N+1 is always the right answer, is what I've heard. Okay, so tell me, you obviously absolutely love all types of discipline, which is amazing to see, but what is your most favourite thing about cycling? Can you sum it up?
I just love the freedom of it, and I love travelling with my bike, and doing, whether it's a gravel ride or a bikepacking or a long distance road ride. I just think you see things different on the bike. Yeah. So when you travel by bike, you ride through towns or places you wouldn't go to otherwise. You experience things in a different way that you never would if you were driving or passing through on a train. Yeah. So I think you just experience countries and places so much differently, and I love that, and the freedom of that it gives you is amazing.
When you first started out, I guess, it's back in 2012, like you said. Looking back, is there any advice that you'd give yourself or anyone, starting cycling now or picking it up, especially as a woman? Yeah. Any advice that you'd give to maybe someone who was quite nervous and thinking, I don't know about the bike?
Yeah, I just give it a go, right? And I have learned so much from riding in a club. Yeah. So that's been my huge learning. I am riding with more experienced riders, riding with stronger riders. Yeah. I ride with men quite a bit. I like riding with women as well, but I think it's good to ride in a mixed environment. You learn different things from different people. Yeah. It taught me how to climb, how to descend, bike handling skills. So I just recommend someone to get in with the club. I know it can be quite daunting to turn up to your group ride. You're wondering, am I going to get dropped? Am I going to make it? Am I good enough?
Yeah.
We all start somewhere, right? You have to get going.
This is it.
And there are plenty of beginner rides. Getting in with a group that you feel comfortable with, and you'll find you progress really quickly.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of how I started. And I'm really grateful for everyone that's helped me along the way. And I try to do that now for my club. Try to help new riders to get involved as well and to progress, because that's how we all have to do it.
Exactly, this is it. There's got to be a nice open space for everyone. I think a lot of the ladies that slide into my DMs I often pass on to go to clubs, and like you say, there's like a nervousness around actually just showing up.
Yeah.
So you obviously do so much for your local clubs and stuff, but crucially, tell us about One More City London. This is a huge part of your life. Can you give us a bit more about that?
Sure. So I was diagnosed with breast cancer for the first time when I was 40, and I had the standard surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and I thought, like most people, that it was done and it was behind me. I'm back to my normal life.
Yeah.
And then about 5 years later, cycling through London, and I remember coming through Mayfair, and then I woke up in an ambulance on Oxford Street. Apparently I had a seizure while cycling.
No!
Yeah, and I don't know to this day who called the ambulance or what happened.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I woke up in the ambulance with my bike, crucially.
Oh my gosh.
And basically it worked out that I had a brain tumour, which ended up being secondary breast cancer.
Oh my goodness.
And I really hadn't thought about it, because it had been 5 years, and you kind of think, get to 5 years, it's all good. But no, because it comes back in 20 to 30% of cases. You can be treated, and it's just bad luck, it comes back.
Oh my god, and you had no symptoms?
No, nothing until that.
Wow, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that kind of started off, I was like back on the whole treatment thing.
Yeah.
And I had to have surgery, radiotherapy, and treatment. And then I started learning a bit more about secondary breast cancer.
Yeah.
Which is when it spreads beyond the breast and lymph nodes to other parts of the body. And that's, unfortunately, the fatalities happen when it spreads.
Yeah.
So most women or men that get breast cancer that stays in the breast and lymph nodes, it's a pretty high survival rate.
Yeah.
When it spreads, it's a bit more complicated. And the stats suggest in the UK alone, 31 people a day die from secondary breast cancer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That's
so
a
I started
amount.
learning about this, and then thinking about, how do I have an impact?
Yeah.
Speaking to my oncologist and realizing that there is not a lot of money that goes into research. I think it's changing now.
Yeah.
So, and alongside that, the previous year, I had ridden from London to Paris with my friends as kind of a celebration of, I'm nearly at 5 years post-treatment.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we'd raised money for a breast cancer support organization in London that helped me during treatment.
Yeah.
And then I had kind of vaguely thought about, could we just keep going? So could we keep riding from Paris, and what would that look like? And then it kind of came together to me, and I was thinking like, well, how can I fund research? How can I combine that with cycling?
Yeah.
And I went to see Simon Mottram, who's the founder of Rafa, who's a marketing and brand genius, and I started speaking to him about this idea, and we came up with the idea of One More City.
Amazing.
So in the same way that when you have any kind of secondary cancer, you're on treatment for life, it's always another treatment, another scan. I thought, well, it's always going to be another city, another challenge,
something else to add on.
Something else to add on. It's like a never-ending thing, which is, I'm on kind of never-ending treatment for life, right?
Yeah.
So we decided to keep riding. So we then did Paris to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Strasbourg, 2 years in the UK, which were really hard during the pandemic. So wet and so cold.
Oh my god.
And so hilly.
Yeah.
And then we've kept going. So we've gotten as far as, it's been 7 years now. We finished last year in Venice. And
amazing.
we're now doing Venice to Rome this year. And the idea is to fund students.
Yeah.
So we decided that the best way to influence the research agenda was to fund students who are doing research in secondary breast cancer.
Yeah. Direct cures.
Correct. Directly funding innovative research, and also being able to see that where exactly the money was going.
Yeah.
It's really important to us to fund a specific project.
Yeah.
So it's not just funding breast cancer research in general, it's actually really focused on secondary breast cancer.
Yeah.
So the first student we had was at Imperial College, and she's just about finished her PhD.
Amazing.
We have a second one starting at the ICR, Institute of Cancer Research, London. She started last October.
Yeah.
We have another one who's being recruited now. And then our current campaign is for a clinical research fellow at the ICR as well.
That's fantastic. So you can really see the actual human people who are then finding the cures.
There's something quite motivating about funding a person.
Yeah.
Rather than funding a bit of, I don't know, kit in the lab.
Yeah.
Because it's giving someone a future. And also, I feel like the connection is really important for our riders and our supporters.
Yeah.
So they can see, well, your money
The tangible.
has funded this person.
Yeah, the tangible
And then
impact.
they take part in the events. Actually, one of the researchers is actually going to ride with us this year.
Amazing. That's awesome with the creation of the charity. And you've been on such a journey with your own personal health. How has cycling kind of played into that journey and that part of your life?
Yeah, so for me it's really important because it's you know, I'm on drugs every day. I have scans every 3 months. It's quite a heavy burden.
Yeah.
And for me, the cycling is a way, I forget that I'm a cancer patient when I'm on the bike.
Yeah.
It's about managing the side effects. I'm less tired when I'm actively exercising and on the bike. And also, I mean, I think we can't quite explain it, but there is something around exercise
Yeah.
and stimulating the immune system that I think has an anti-cancer effect. And again, we don't understand exactly how it works.
Yeah.
But for me, it is mentally and physically how I deal with living with this disease.
Yeah. And it's kept you healthy and strong in the best possible way.
Yeah, and I'm on quite a heavy treatment regime.
Yeah.
And I think if I weren't so fit, I'm not sure I could tolerate it as well as I do. So it's part about keeping that balance between the cycling, my work, one more city, and everything else.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
Well, speak for yourself, you just really big well, you told me earlier.
It's remarkable, it's absolutely incredible. And obviously it's not stopped you carrying on with your amazing adventures. Yeah. You have already told me that you've got so much coming up, so tell us, what have you got coming up this year that you're...
Well, we are on a little hilly ride today.
we are on a little mini Liege Bastonge Liege, I think, is what we can call it, because what have you got? You've got the main event.
Yes, I've got the LBL Sportive next Saturday.
She's ready. This is the last ride.
Yes, and my coach, someone you know well, sent me this little challenge. You have to find all the hills possible in 5 hours of riding.
And I think we'll be about 8 hours of riding at the pace we're enjoying, and all the hills are in the Chilterns, so here we are. It's actually a beautiful day, isn't it?
Gorgeous ride.
Gorgeous
Absolutely
ride.
Stunning. Loving the hills.
Yeah.
Loving the ramps. Yeah, so I've got LBL in 2 weeks. No, 10 days. 10 days. And the distance we're going for, well, if we can. 250, full fat LBL. Whoa. We'll see. See what I can do. I had some time off the bike. Had a little bit of a recurrence of my cancer in the autumn in my lungs. So that was treated with radiotherapy. And yeah, I had some time off the bike to recover from that. So I'm just sort of still rebuilding. So I have a partially collapsed lung. It's still smashing up them hills. Trying. Not as good as I should be. So still rebuilding. Yes, I've got that. I've got the Traka, which is a 200k gravel race. I say race. I'm just trying to survive, really, I think, is the main thing. Got some other bike packing stuff. Yeah. Got the tap again for my sins. Oh. And then got one more city. Venice to Rome. And then also we have a new, well now it's 3 years running, one more city in California. Wow, spreading. That's an amazing one-day ride out of San Francisco, going across the Bay Bridge into Marin County. So that is one heck of a year. Yeah.
And I guess, like, you know, so much coming up, but what have you really enjoyed in the past? What has been one of your most challenging rides to date?
Oh, there's been so many. I think I do really love pushing myself.
Yeah.
And I mean, I suppose I love the road equally, and the gravel and the bike packing. And there's been a lot of challenges. I mean, doing the Etap in 2018, just sort of 6 months after I had a brain tumour, was a bit of a challenge. Yeah. I had to like start from scratch with the training there. That was hard. I've done some bike packing, which was pretty difficult. To bike packed across the Canary Islands 2 years ago now, which was challenging. So yeah, I like to keep it interesting.
She doesn't bloody stop. Bike packing?
Yeah.
Are you a camper, or are you?
No, I hate camping. I only camp out maybe, I think I do 2 nights a year. That's my max, that's my rule.
Okay. We've just come out the most atrocious wind, and Christine is currently smashing up Aston Hill. Go on! Yeah. Woo!
Almost there.
Woo! Smashing round Tring in full force. Bluebell Wood.
Best bit of spring riding in the UK. The bluebells come out.
100%. How did you find Aston Hill?
Oh, it's good. It's a bit of a, uninvited headwind on the first bit of the climb.
Wasn't it?
And then we turned left and I was like, ah!
I felt like the power output was, you know, it was creeping up on that flat.
Up. Like, you were like gone. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get there eventually. Good one there. So good training. Really good LBL training. Really good LBL training, because you'll have how many climbs in LBL do we think? I think there are 13 named climbs and over 4,000 meters of elevation. So yeah, I'm in for it.
Just a chill day out, you know, casual. One thing I've noticed about our ride together, you are exceptionally good at fueling now. You love a fuel. We've spoken about treat bag being a thing on some bike packing trips. Yeah. What is your favourite snack on the bike? Oh, I like everything on the bike. So it's just everything I would never eat off the bike. Yeah. Haribo is kind of the emergency go-to. Yeah. I've been known to consume an awful lot of Oreos on a bike packing trip. Great snack. How many packets do you reckon have gone down? I think it was nearly 1 a day for 6 days. It was really out of control. Then I really love, on the other end, boiled potatoes with salt. Yes. They're really good. Yes. A bit of salt and a bit of savoury stuff is good. Have you had the potatoes in Gran Canaria with the red sauce? Yes, the patatas bravas are great. So you've been riding for quite a while, good few years. What's been your favourite bike experiences today? I mean, you've had a lot, you've had a glorious time, some great stuff going on. What's been your fave? I don't know. I mean, on the road, I rode from Como to Rome, which was amazing. Yeah. Over 2 weeks through Tuscany. I've ridden the Eroica twice, some great bike packing. Probably my favourite was the Grand Garn Street, so riding across the Canary Island from Lanzarote to Tenerife over, I think it was 6 days and like 9 ferries across the islands. And they're just so different, the islands, from being volcanic to some being more like rainforests, some being quite vicious, hills, El Hierro. Oh yes. And Valley of the Tears, no? Yes, Valley of Tears, off-road, not fun, a lot of tears. Yeah, and I think it's those trips that have been across country, you know, Almost City is all about going from city to city. Yeah. And we've been through some incredible regions, you know, bits of Bavaria that I wouldn't have ridden across otherwise, you know, going through, I don't know, Belgium, the Netherlands, doing the cobbles, doing Flanders climbs. All that, it's been extraordinary. Yeah. So do you have a best day on the bike so far? If you could pick one? There have been so many. I mean, I think I'm really proud. I think I said before, of doing the Etap. Yes. I think it finished on the top of a big climb, the Grand Bonheur in 2018. And yeah, I'd had brain surgery 6 months prior. I really wasn't sure I was going to make it, and I was really in tears. Yeah. Getting to the finish, so I can imagine. That was pretty amazing. That's incredible. Very inspirational, mate. Just treated Christine to Dunsmore. I think Whiteleaf's on the way, so a top 100 climber, just to really see her off, ready for LBL. Here she is. Absolutely destroying everything today. Spring is springing. A little hill, you said, a little Dunsmore. Just a little Dunsmore. Not even the main event. Not even the main event, the warm-up. No bother, no bother, onwards. So in your time of riding and trying all the different disciplines of riding that you can possibly do, aside from the dark side, is there anything about the cycling world in your experience or to you that you wish to change or could improve?
Yeah, I mean, I think women are still underrepresented, right?
Yeah.
It's improving a lot. I mean, I love watching women's pro racing. I think the women's peloton has changed so much and it's so exciting.
Yeah.
So much talent coming through. It's really super. And the coverage is getting better. We still have a long way to go.
For sure.
So I think just getting more women, role models, women participating at all levels is amazing. And I think I was saying to you earlier that my little dream around the Étape. So I've done the Étape du Tour like 4 times now. Doing it again this year. Every year I say never again, but something always happens. And I think the number of women is between 5 to 10%.
Which is so low, considering.
You know, and I think so many women could do it. I don't know why they don't, for whatever reason they don't sign up, and it's such a shame. It's my dream, and it's not my idea. I have to give credit to my friend Gillian, who came up with it.
Go on, Jill.
Obviously there's a Tour de France FEMME now.
Yeah.
So why can't we have an Étape on one of the stages of the Tour de FEMME?
Yes, please.
It doesn't have to be all women, but can we give women priority?
Yeah.
And can we use that event to help stimulate even more interest in the Tour de FEMME? Because obviously you ride a route of a Grand Tour.
Yeah.
You're even more keen to watch it.
For sure.
And you want to see, okay, I rode up that climb in 20 minutes and the pros are going to do it in 2. It's quite a humbling experience, but it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to make it happen, but someone tell me how to make it happen, because I think it'd be amazing.
Oh my God. And I would definitely get on board with that. 100%. I think we should make it happen. Let's find out.
Yeah, how are we going to do that?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
We're going to do it. We're going to go down this hill and we're going to bloody do it. Ooh. Just on right leaf. Ooh. Pulled up to it. Told Christine I was going to have a little play. And I'm at the top, waiting for her. We both boshed some gels. Both warm in our pockets, so not great. And yeah, just completed it, and I don't think she's that bloody far behind me. Absolute machine. Top 100 climb, baby. And it's a good one. It's a real good one, old white leaf. Woo, 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 woo. How was that?
That's a bit of a beast.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
First reactions of white leaf?
Middle. Didn't like so much. There's a lot of weaving going on in the middle there.
Oh yeah.
A bit steep.
20%er.
Yeah.
Beauty though.
You're beaut.
LBL in the legs, baby.
Absolutely.
That's your hardest one, done.
That's it. Good
Boom.
stuff.
Let's go. Is there anyone that you particularly admire in the cycling space or you feel inspired by?
Yeah, I mean, so I think I mentioned Annemiek earlier. He's amazing.
Yes.
I really also admire Ashley Mullen-Pasio. Because I think, obviously, aside from being a fantastic cyclist and athlete, she's done so much to encourage women to get into racing. She's really instrumental in people in racing on Zwift during lockdown. And then she's doing some amazing work in South Africa, trying to enable girls who wouldn't have access to bikes and training to be able to do that, and just to be able to experience and ride in Europe at some stage with them. I think that's just amazing. So it's really an inspiration.
What's the vision for One More City that's coming up?
Well, so we have our couple, 7th
Chiltern
year.
roads.
Yeah. UK roads, love it. Our 7th year running in Europe, so Venice to Rome.
Yeah.
So our 3rd year in California, which is our first kind of geographic expansion. And I want to keep those rides small.
Yeah.
Because it's intimate and it's a community thing and people know each other and they come back.
It's lovely.
But I really want to see more of those globally. The goal really is to fund research around the world at different leading institutions.
Amazing.
Because I think, cancer is a very complex problem.
Yeah.
There's not one type of cancer. There's not even one type of breast cancer. And I think you need people looking at it from different perspectives.
Yeah.
So if we can fund research around the world looking at different angles of treatment and different approaches, that would be amazing.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Incredible. Big things coming.
Yes.
Final comfort break. She's getting her fueling in again. She's snacking. Sticking to the carb rules. Can we just talk about this incredible jersey? Look at this. Hang on. Let's get a little. I mean, obviously we've got the inside to show you, but let's have a look at this print. Talk us through.
Yeah. So part of One More City is having a custom kit that Rafa has produced for many years for us, and I've always really enjoyed working with the designers, doing something quite creative and meaningful. So this actually is a scan from the lab. So this is a breast cancer cell on the move,
which is amazing.
Which is amazing. Yes. So I gave the designers at Rafa the image from the lab, and I said, "Can you make something of it?" And yes, it is something quite, horrible and scary. Yeah. But it's a beautiful pattern as well, and I love wearing this jersey, and it makes me think every time. Hopefully people ask about it and they say, "What is it?" And I explain it's One More City, and it's all about research, and it gives people something to speak about, and it's quite distinctive on the road. Which is amazing. And also I'll insert the clip of the inside, because obviously very important message, with the little boobies at the back, which is so nice. We're actually redoing the design this year in a different colourway. And will you sell it? Yeah, I will sell it, yes. In a burgundy, so it's pretty, it should be amazing. We'll wait for that. Yeah. So I will pop the links to One More City so you can have a look. Of course, if you can donate. Thank you for doing your boobs challenge. Amazing. I haven't quite done it yet. You're already there. It's been great. Yeah, almost there. So obviously, I will pop the link to that Just Giving page as well, if you would be so kind. I think if everyone was to donate just £1, that would be a load. Then give up a coffee for a week. That's it. Yeah. Just one coffee.